the turn of the 20th century, there was an influx of Italian immigrants. Many made the journey by foot, bound for the new world that America offered, but many on the way settled in Liverpool. A community grew in the north end of the city and became known as Liverpool's Little Italy. It was a time of gaslit lamps, trams, hansom cabs, cobblestones and inevitably recession. Conditions in Little Italy were poor, but its people were rich in culture and strong in spirit, and it became home to some of Liverpool's most celebrated prize fighters, amongst them Dom Vario, Tony the Tiger Butcher, Nat Williams, Joe Curran and Jack Fitzpatrick. But undoubtedly, their most celebrated son was the great Dom Volante. Dom had only one amateur fight before turning pro. It was against Tom Lorenz, who was then Northern Counties flyweight champion. Loren's opponent had failed to turn up, and Dom volunteered as an opponent. So close the decision, the judges had the pair go another round. The champion got the decision, but Dom had made more than an impression on the boxing community, and his professional career took off. Dom signed to Snowball's Sensational Star Scrappers, hence the emblem on his shorts. Snowball was the nickname of the London-based promoter, Teddy Broadrib. Over a career that spanned 14 years, Dom tallied up more than 140 fights, sometimes fighting twice a night up and down the country, constantly having to keep his and his family's head above water. Despite this, Dom, always a crowd pleaser, never got into the ring to retreat or take a dive. Dom was a scrapper, preferring the all-out, all-pistons firing, brawling style. It was a guarantee of a thrilling fight. Dom was often top of the bill at the old Pudsey Street Stadium, nicknamed the Graveyard of Champions, as it was a place where many champions lost their crown. He topped the bill on the last night at the Pudsey Street Stadium, when he stopped Teddy Brown in the 8th. The old stadium was to become the new Paramount Picture House. Dom yet again was to be the main attraction on its opening night, only this time he used his mouth organ to entertain the crowds. At Barnsley, he knocked out local favourite Nipper Cooper in 62 seconds, and the crowd, mostly miners, threatened to riot, but Dom produced his mouth organ and cooler tempers. Pictured here outside the new stadium with friends, amongst them the footballing legend Dixie Dean and Johnny Best, the Liverpool boxing promoter, who led the campaign in favour of getting the new stadium built. Dom's staunch rival of the day was undoubtedly the great Liverpool fighter, Nell Tarleton, the only fighter to win both the National Sporting Club belt and the Lonsdale belt. Outside the ring, they were great friends and could often be seen at charity events performing their famous double act, Dom playing his mouth organ as Tarleton tap danced. It was his scrapping style, though, that won the hearts of crowds at home and abroad, most notably in America, where he and Nell Tarleton toured, Dom winning 4 of his 5 fights and drawing the remaining. He knocked out Herman Wallace in 6, drew with Harry Carlton, beat Frankie Marchese on points, Harry Carlton in a return on points, and the Italian champion Luigi Quadrini on points. However, none of them were title fights. Dom being the fighter he was, the Americans feared losing a title and a belt to him.
And the two come out of their corners for the final round of this grueling bout. Volante crosses himself, and the bell rings for the 15th round. And I gotta tell you folks, what a fight this has been. Press boys already earmarking it as one of the greatest shows of dexterity and courage the Garden has ever seen. Volante now, with a flurry of punches, a left and a right, and a sweet little uppercut. That's gotta hurt. Carlton in trouble now as the Italian from Liverpool, England, works him onto the ropes. Volante, known back home as the Liverpool Fighting Machine, and my God, he's living up to his name now. These two have certainly turned on the heat for an ecstatic crowd on this November night, 1926, at the one and only Madison Square Garden.
A favourite expression of Dom's was, "I'll be there at the finish," and invariably he was. At that time, no boxer in the country had done more for charity. He won the hearts of the people. A packed house was always Dom's reward. Fans bestowed on him the unofficial title as the greatest-hearted boxer of all time. Dom hung up his gloves, and a cut above his left eye threatened his sight. However, by popular demand, he returned to the ring for an undefeated 6 fights. Dom had beaten several champion fighters, but never in a title bout. He was to become a champion in everything but name, a people's champion.